Already a contributor and want to know how to become a committer? Committers play an essential role in the Eclipse open source community. But what do committers do? How do you become a Jakarta EE committer? And what responsibilities would you have as a committer? Let's take a quick look. Every Jakarta EE project has a distinct development team composed of committers. Committers are the ones who hold the keys. Committers decide what code goes into the code base, how a project builds, and ultimately what gets delivered to the adopter community. For existing Jakarta EE projects, it happens through an election. After you have made contributions that demonstrate that you understand how the open source project works, a current committer on that project will initiate an election. Current committers must vote in the election, so creating a public record of high-quality contribution that committers and the community can review is the most important part of this entire process. Committers must be covered by a committer agreement. In the case your employer is already a member of the Jakarta EE working group, your employer has the working group participation agreement in place that covers all employees who become a committer, so you do not need to do anything. However, when joining as an individual committer, you need to sign the individual working group participation agreement, and to make sure your employer is aware, you need to provide the signed employer consent agreement. The Eclipse Foundation's committer records team will work with you to ensure that all of the necessary agreements are in place. These are contracts between the committer and the Eclipse Foundation that ensure the necessary intellectual property rights are granted. As a committer, you are taking on responsibility for implementing the Eclipse Foundation development process, which outlines the rules and regulation of the Eclipse Foundation's open source projects, and the Eclipse Foundation intellectual property due diligence process, which ensures IP laws are followed. When joining a Jakarta EE specification project, committers must additionally be familiar with the Jakarta EE specification process, and the Jakarta EE specification process guide is a useful resource for that. The Eclipse Foundation Project Handbook describes in detail how these policies are implemented in practice. Links to these documents can be found at jakarta.ee/getinvolved. Becoming a committer takes hard work and has extra responsibilities, but it puts you in the driver's seat of open source projects that are used globally. It's your opportunity to become a leader in the Jakarta EE community. For more information on committers and their responsibilities, visit jakarta.ee/getinvolved.